Hey guys, it's Benjamin Zamish, author of Creating Freedom and the founder of Move, Learn, Create. Welcome back to Thematic Serenity, where I am helping people to become more receptive to the magic of this life. This is episode number 23, and we're going to talk about hashtag living my best life. Any phrase that gets said this many times, that becomes this ubiquitous, in our culture, and when we know the power of our words, we have to take a second and look at what it is that we're actually saying, because it is having an effect. And whether or not it is in line with what we really are, in line with the mechanics of this life, that will have a major effect on our experience of this life. Because after all, what are we doing here? We are understanding and then aligning ourselves with the fundamental mechanics of this creation, because that is the only way we're going to be able to consciously evolve further into the human possibility, which is what we're all looking for, whether we know it or not. So have you ever actually tried to define for yourself what your best life means? We're all talking about we're living our best life, but does anyone actually know what that means? I mean, do you have any idea what a full-fledged human being would even look like? I don't, because I've never seen one. Well, maybe one, but I don't think he qualifies as a human being anymore. So we're back to square one. But seriously, everywhere you look in this creation, everywhere you look in the world, you see life expressing itself to its full potential, to its ultimate possibility. No fear, no holding back, just pure ultimate expression through the limitations of whatever form that life has taken. The tree expresses itself to its ultimate potential. It cannot become more than it is. So best life achieved, right? Every animal, every plant, every insect, every microorganism, every other thing basically but us on this planet is spending its time here as a full-fledged life. It's a total expression of the possibility within, of that incredible possibility that was granted to it by its creator. But humans, really? we're living our best life. You're living our best life. I mean, give me a break. We don't even know what that means. We don't know what we are. We don't know what we're supposed to be doing or where we're going. And we're all so desperate to feel better, basically, about our ignorance, that we're all hashtag living our best lives for each other as the human drama turns into the human comedy, or perhaps the human tragedy. Whichever way you want to look at it. So it's time, I think, to just stop playing games. I mean, can we just stop playing games and seriously address our potential, rather than, creating nonsensical expressions to make ourselves feel better about what it is that we're doing, that we know deep down is not bringing us closer to a total expression of what we actually are? I mean, can you imagine the freedom, the fulfillment, the endless, immeasurable rewards of actually knowing that you were living up to your possibility, that you were becoming a complete, total, full-fledged expression of the life that created you and is sustaining you? Can you imagine that? What that would really be like? And I don't know if you've ever heard about this. I recently did, and it struck me so powerfully. But do you know that when a cobra snake is ready to die, when it is ready to die, it goes off by itself and it picks the perfect rock and it sits there for up to 21 days without eating, just gracefully dropping its body and leaving at what it knows to be the appropriate time. Think about that. This is a snake, okay? How big is the brain of a snake? I don't know. But apparently it has more wisdom, more awareness, more equanimity, and knows more fulfillment than we do while we're out here as the most sophisticated mechanism on the planet living our best life. Think about the inner state of being that would be required to do something like that. I mean, that's actually happening, right? That's actually happening in a very simple form, animal form. Life is being conducted in that way, with that amount of grace. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, we're here turning the end of our lives into this really repugnant drama, actually, as we furiously cling to what is just the ultimate misconception of ourselves, because we refuse to give back to Earth the body which she has so lovingly, embraced us with, and by which she and the source of creation have conspired somehow through some inconceivable magic and wonder to grant us this human experience. So to the 5.2 million contributors to the hashtag living my best life on Instagram, I had to look it up when I decided to title this piece like this. Could we just take a second and look at our words? Please, can we just use our intellect and address this? Every single piece of life is living in a state of total expression. And what are we doing? What are we actually doing? And I want you to really actually think about this. What were you doing the last time that you said, or what were they doing the last time you saw them say, living my best life? Did you weep tears of ecstasy because you got the one perfect vacation selfie out of the 1,000 that you wasted your vacation taking? Do you realize the power of your words? How this actually affects and cripples you? I have to throw this in here because so many of us are Christians, but you know that in Matthew 12, 36 and 37, Jesus says, on the day of judgment, people will give account for every careless word they speak. For by your words, you will be justified, and by your words, you will be condemned. Now, I'm not a preacher, and I definitely wouldn't say I'm a Christian, but damn, that resonates. How careless we are with the noises of meaning that emerge from our mouths, in the marks of intention that we inscribe upon the pieces of the earth. How careless we are. And we celebrate this nonsense that is not only not serving us, but actually actively working against us in our efforts to move forward and become an expression of what it is that we truly are. So I just ask you to stop and just look at the nature of nature. Look at the way of being that is embodied and exemplified by the countless, truly countless, full-fledged lives that we're surrounded by. I mean, look at how they strive, right? Look at how they strive, just fully on, all the time. Look at how totally they give themselves to this life, how fiercely they fight for their being in whatever way they can, and truly how innocent they are in their war of desire, right? It's time to wake up, okay? It's 2021, and we are all sick of being half lives, of actually being wasted lives. It's just, we're sick of being human beings. We're sick of being human beings who don't know how to be. That's what it is. And no longer can we ignore the possibilities within us that are driving us crazy. We just have too much freedom to look the other way. It's too present in our experience. The desire has mounted up to a degree that we just can't ignore, because there are so many avenues open for us to allow it to express if we could have the wisdom to do that. And we do have the wisdom to do that. And no longer can we claim ignorance, No longer will distraction free us from the awareness, really, of our culpability in the passive repression of the life within us that longs for freedom. And that's what it is. It's a passive repression. We're trying to repress it by just kind of not looking at it, not addressing it. And it won't work. We cannot do that any longer. The tools are available to us. The tools are available to you. The knowledge is profound and ubiquitous. It's everywhere. You can't miss it if you're looking. And just beyond the application of that knowledge lies for each of us the wisdom required to move forward into a state of freedom. The lessons that we must learn, whatever it is that we must still learn to get where it is we want to be, those lessons are the treasures out of which our struggle is built. I talk about this all the time. You don't have to go looking for what it is that you need. It is being thrown in your face every day. Whatever it is you need, you just have to meet it. You just have to look directly at it. You have to get serious about actually evolving into what you will be required to be to have the experience that you want to have. The fire that I always talk about, that fire that you are unwilling to enter is the missing element. Okay? That is the only missing element. That is the product of the power and the grace that we claim to long for. But it's right here in front of us and we're not grabbing it. So, am I setting an example? Am I living my best life? Well, I don't know. I don't know. But I will tell you this much, and I've said it before, fire raging in my spirit. And I mean to feed those flames until this entire world is an inferno in which the shadows have no place to hide. So maybe at that point, I will be able to say, best life achieved. I've lived up to the standard set by the tree outside my window. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for being here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, definitely do so. Definitely come back next week. Share this with somebody. Don't just watch it, go to the next video. Stop for a second. Think about what you just heard. Think about who needs to hear it, and allow yourself to be a channel for this to move out and affect and hopefully ignite a spark in somebody else. And hopefully it is doing that for you, igniting a spark, starting a flame, pushing you forward in the only direction that will lead you to the way, into where you want to be and out of the place and out of the experience that you don't want to be. If you want practical step-by-step tools, very applicable, very accessible, very simple, fundamental, core human frameworks and methods to begin to align your life, to begin to take your system and move it in one direction and make sure that direction is pointed towards freedom, pointed towards your liberation, making sure you're facing towards the sun so that when it rises, you will not miss it. If you want those tools, I have done my best effort at creating a step-by-step kind of a journey. Starts very simple, gets more and more in depth as we go. These tools are free. The links are in the description for this video. Sign up for the Momentum Masterclass. Take that first. Then read the Creating Freedom ebook. It's free. There's a free mini course that goes along with that that's designed to help you take the tools and methods that are in my story in the book of how I broke through the most what's the word? Limiting, the most oppressive chains and boundaries that I experienced in my life. How did I overcome those things? It's in a book, Creating Freedom. It's like 70 pages, very easy to read, very powerful, profound, extremely personal. And then in that book are the methods, but I put together a little 3-part course for you to just help make it more accessible and easier for you to take those methods and apply them to your own journey. There will be more to come soon. I'm always working on more tools, really trying to pour as much value into this world as I can. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the journey, and I will see you next week.